We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Let me
You
check my
know,
YouTube here. Let me see what's happening.
I think at this point it's time to actually, start sharing the live, welcoming people
Hold
in.
on, I got to turn you up a little bit. Oh, look at that. That looks really good. I'm
Yeah.
watching you on the big screen.
Awesome. Awesome. Uh-oh.
How was your day? How was your day so far? We're gonna do a little
My day is
recap what
great.
we've been
One thing I'm going to say
doing.
is the big screen, the volume needs to be turned down. I'm echoing because I hear myself.
Okay, let me turn you down a little bit. How about now?
1, 2, 1, 2. No, so I'm hearing myself from the.
No, you're hearing yourself on my speaker down below.
Oh, no.
So I would have to disconnect.
That's fine. I'm just wondering if everybody else hears two of you.
Yeah, we would appreciate a nice little comment. Let people know if the feedback is bothering them. Um, you know,
Well, I'm
sure.
I'm looking at us on the feed as well. It looks great.
Yes, okay. The our third wing lady is sliding right on in. Hello, hello.
Welcome, Ayana.
Hello, hello. Hi, Miss Ayana. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. How y'all doing?
We are doing good. Just checking out everything. I'm trying to finish up ordering some products for the restaurant before I forget, because if I forget, we got no food this weekend. So in the meantime, we just logged on, waiting for you to join in, and everybody looks great, man. It's a nice look. So Yana, how was your week? Tell us about what did we miss out this week?
This week, I'm mommy all the time, and for me time, I do some for me stuff. Is there feedback?
Yeah, the feedback is the speaker.
It's me. Okay. Let me bring it down. Well, let me disconnect. Let me disconnect.
Bubba has a great stereo situation over there.
Oh, he's about to be DJ Bub right now. That's what.
Okay, how's that? That sounds much better.
Okay.
No, you sound great.
I don't
Okay,
think
no feedback anymore.
Hola. Hello. No feedback. Yes.
Okay, so great.
Yes.
So let's get it in. So
let's see. This week,
what does me time mean?
It's for me time. So it's time. It's time that I dedicate to just me and nobody else benefits from it but me. If you happen to benefit from it, kudos. So that could be me doing yoga for me, meditating for me. For 2 months, I swam every day. Nobody else would benefit from that but me. And I just get to just do me. Some people call it self-care. I don't call it self-care, because people call self-care getting your nails done, getting your body massaged on. That's maintenance. For me time is for me time. Like I got a whole litany of stuff that I'm about to put out, but it's just the opportunity to self-reflect, forgive, just take care of you, your mental stability, your body. Swimming is so great. I'll be going back on Monday. But I love the water. I'm an Aquarius. I love the water. And I can't wait to go back. So everybody, I don't care. Men typically fine for me time. Women, not so much. We take care of everybody else. So you have to be intentional.
Me time for men, most guys like me, is just watching football, or basketball, or just sports without any interruption. Like,
it's because you don't do nothing.
That's
it.
Really
don't. You don't lift up. I mean, no. I need.
If we could just watch a good game, and
look,
have
I like games.
I
like football.
I like. That's the me time.
I like to eat. I like to have a good drink. I like a good football game. I'm a Giants fan. I don't think you are, but you know,
no. You know, listen. Listen. I have fun with life. Like, yes, I will disown them in a heartbeat. You know, if they do something I don't like trade Odell Beckham or
worst thing ever.
You know, but look, I'm a New York. I've been loving the Giants since I was a kid.
Okay.
You know, so I don't hate them. I like the Jets too. I watch the Jets. What I try not to do is just get overly like invested in a team or any one particular thing. I just enjoy the game. I enjoy some players. So I'm more so into the players. But look, the Giants are playing the Redskins tonight. Absolutely. I put my $3 on the Giants to win. So
I wish I was there. I'd be at the bar. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
So I'm a Giant at heart. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I like the coach. I don't like our
the owners.
I don't like the owners. Don't like the GM.
Mm-mm.
You know,
I
Danny
agree.
Dimes. He's not meeting expectation. You know, I miss Odell. Like ever since we traded Odell, nothing's been right with that team.
You want to know? I was upset when they got rid of Cruz first. And then
listen,
Odell.
I'll take you back before that. I wasn't the biggest Cruz fan, right? But I was a Hakeem Nicks fan. And I felt they let Hakeem Nicks go because of
Yes, they did.
I was upset that whole season. And then lightning struck twice. So then we drafted this guy called OBJ. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna let my hatred, you know, for them
sucked you back in.
Nicks, you know, I'm gonna let it go. I got my OBJ, and then what they do? They trade OBJ. So you know, I've been smitten. I've been smitten by them goddamn Giants. So, but I'm going to thoroughly enjoy the game. And listen, shout out to all the women that allow their men, their significant other, to watch the game in peace. There are a lot of great.
Shout out to all the women who actually are right there watching the game.
Exactly. No. Listen, you can have a woman that can watch it with you, which is very extremely rare and hard to find. They're like diamonds.
It's not that rare.
It is not, dude. I'm in a whole group of nothing but athletes. It's called like stilettos and something. We don't play that. It's a whole lot of us out here. You just right here.
I will take the ones that just let you do you. You see, like I said, I don't have to. The diamond, that's diamond. Like that's diamond stuff.
It's not, but it's not. Welcome to 2021.
I get it. Okay, I'm just speaking.
Women have flag football.
From what I've seen.
I had a fantasy football team until I started boycotting the NFL. I had two fantasy football teams. And I won some. I won money. What are you talking about?
You know what you're talking. Listen, look. Your folk, listen, Carrie been very lucky. I'll say that. You know.
Yo, say that one more time. One more time for the row. All right. So I'm gonna play that back if he's not watching.
Like I said, look, my lady gives me peace. She don't bother me at all. She lets me enjoy my game. You know, she even sit there and let me tell her about it, knowing she don't know nothing about what I'm talking about. But she'll let me finish my thoughts. She'll let me get my rant in, and she won't. You know, she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." You know, like whatever. You know, like, and I'm good with that. You know,
gotcha.
I'm okay with
Before we go further, why don't you tell us where they can watch us today? I mean, where they can share it. You know, things like that.
Facebook is probably the best place right now. On the page Amarachi Studios, or on my personal page, which is Adebayo Adewumi on Facebook. And then it's also on YouTube at Amarachi Studios. I forgot I gotta put some more links up, and we should be able to get more visibility going right now.
The exciting thing that it'll be scrolling on the ticker the entire show just about. So
yes.
You know what? I left my readers downstairs, and that's so little.
Yeah.
So I
might have to go give me some. So I can like, oh, there it is.
Just in case y'all brought something up that I needed to see.
I might have to go. 48 ain't fair. Sorry.
So Donna, what about you? So Miss Ayana told us about Me Time, which is dope.
Okay, can you say it this way? For me time.
For me time.
Interesting. And I'm just going to correct the people who send me messages afterwards. My name is Donatella. Thank you. Bub is the only person I allowed to call me Donna. For those
Thanks for the correction.
Thank you. That's just me being lazy.
That's okay. I think it's the closeness. You know, it's fine.
I appreciate it.
So I definitely agree with Ayana with the for me time. I do a lot of that in my own perspective, and for me, it's more about the lifestyle that I live. This week for me was really, really busy. I got to spend a lot of time with some friends and making friends with my neighbors, which I don't do all that well. Because I feel like your home should be your oasis and your safe place, right? Where you rebuild yourself, especially given the pandemic that we've all been experiencing. For those who are unable to travel or just not comfortable traveling yet, I try to give myself some for me time on a daily basis. That's kind of how I recharge. And I'm lucky that the young lady who does my nails has been doing them for about, I would say about somewhere between 7 and 10 years. She's actually been doing nails for 17 years. She comes into my home. And so, yeah, she comes to my home. She's vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. And mind you, she doesn't go to everyone's home. You know, like back in the day when I first came to New York, as a technologist, that was kind of my carte blanche treatment that I gave clients. I would go on the Upper East Side or West Side in Brooklyn into someone's home until one day, you know, I knocked on the door to go to someone's home. And this was right on Park Avenue. And the person answered in their bathrobe. And it kind of made me a little uncomfortable. And you're talking about executives. Plus, just for women, those kind of things kind of are out of the window, like door-to-door Kirby selling to me, right? It's not safe.
Unless you live in Texas and you can carry your weapon on your hip.
Cool.
Yeah, but I feel like if it's on my hip, I'm walking into a home like yours. It's got multiple stashed in places where I don't know. And exactly. What else did I do? You know, I can't remember what I did this weekend, but it was great. But yesterday, actually where I live, we had a bit of New York Fashion Week right here in the building, right? And, you know, I think my neighbors think I'm a little kooky because I try to make the best out of every experience. So I got dressed up like I was at the Met Gala.
Do you have a picture?
You didn't take any pictures? You don't have pictures?
We don't. I need evidence.
You know, so what's funny is my building is Jewish owned. So today is
Yom Kippur,
right? So the office is closed, and the young lady who took all my pictures, who happens to be Trinidadian, she's off today, and she normally sends it to me. But if I can, you know, I could grab it because I haven't put it up yet. It's over to the side. But I had a full-length tail snake skin.
Sorry about that. Hold on.
It's over to the side. But I had a, you know, I've always wanted to be my own twin, so that was great. But I literally, you know, I do have a picture actually on my phone, not the best quality. Maybe I can send it to you, Bub, and you can see it. You can
drop it in the thing, and then, you know, I'll see what I can do, you know.
Yeah, I will put it in the thing now. You guys know that the thing is trademarked. Don't try to use it anywhere else.
Thing.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about the so I just dropped it. My BFF in the front is sitting next to me, who always reminds me that she has her own BFF, but that's beside the point. I'm an Aries.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna call her.
You're an Aries? Oh, when's your birthday? My husband's an Aries.
March 27th.
My husband is March 26th, girl.
Oh no, we are the same person, only I have a vajayjay.
Wait a minute. Is that what are the names of the people in this picture with? Is that Stacy?
Oh,
is that Stacy?
In the back. Stacy is my neighbor. Yes.
Ah, look at that. Look at that. Does she know I know you?
Well, so I don't think that she knows who I know. And I have to tell you, only in the last couple of weeks have I started embracing the people where I live, primarily because I'm not sure if I'm going to be here in January. So now I feel free to talk to people. But I also work off of energy. And so whenever I see Stacy, we communicate on social media. So she is Sugar Yaya, right?
Sugar Yaya. Okay.
Is her social media name. And whenever I see her, she is the nicest, even flowing person. So here's the joke with that picture. There is a visiting gentleman to the building. I think he's a resident, actually. But whenever I see him, he jumps in front of me and takes a picture. And so yesterday, someone said to him, "Oh, Donatella, you finally got a man." And he turned and he said, "No, she doesn't. I'm gay."
I'll drink to that.
It was so funny, and he's so nice. But he was actually talking on his phone, and he started taking pictures of us, sending it to the person on the phone, because he says whenever he sees me in the building, I have on a ball gown. And so he was telling the person. So as a lady would, we made him allow us to pose, and then he took some pictures. But Stacy was right there, so I pulled her into the picture.
Got it. Okay, I'm not that savvy quite yet. I could do a video, but I cannot do.
Well, let's not do a video because I don't want to mistakenly share anything. But let's try old school, like we're at work, when you try to put the camera.
Yes.
To the camera.
Oh, you was letting them have it.
That works.
And so the joke was when I came out, because it wasn't intentional, but the event started at 5, and I was so happy to see. Actually, I could have sent the videos. I did take videos at the fashion event, but they literally had it set up. It's a real designer based in Soho Studios. It was his fall 2022 line. What I loved about his models, they were super diverse, from origin of where they live to sexual preference to just the skin tone. It was actually really beautiful. And I ended up speaking to a couple of the models afterwards, and one of the gentlemen is Jamaican descent and working on his MBA, and they just were really smart models, so it was really nice. And I can't wait to save up a couple of pennies so I can buy one of the pieces.
Bub, I want to say something. I'm looking at, so just in case, I'm looking at multiple screens so that if ever anyone wants to say something, that we can share it back with you. So if I'm looking down or looking a different way, I'm working. Okay.
Gotcha.
Just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going. Let me just take this quick one. Okay, go ahead.
So you working too?
Yes, we all working. We don't get paid for this now.
No, but I'm working for you guys. So if you have a question, a comment, or anything like that, right now I'm looking at YouTube because I don't see it on Facebook just yet.
You don't see it? Look up my page on Facebook.
So, but I'm on the Amarachi Studio. So should we just go to your page? I'm on YouTube.
So that's one of the things. So I'm watching it on Facebook on his page, but in my building, the way things are.
MJ, I'm on my live. I'll call you back, please.
Hey MJ. The way that I'm watching it on the Facebook Live, for me it keeps freezing, but I think that's the network service in my building.
All right, so let me find you on Facebook.
So you say you're on Facebook Live, Donatella?
I am, but for me, it keeps freezing, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with my own personal connection because StreamYard is awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's transition. I gotta ask you guys' opinion. I'm gonna share this guy's his face here real quick, and I want to get your take on him. I mean, his guy's getting a lot of publicity. He's getting a lot of looks. He's getting a lot of people talking about him. I got some opinions, so I want to see what you guys think.
Uh-oh. So we're talking about Michael?
No, this is who we talking about. This guy right here.
Hey, Kevin.
Can you see it?
Well, you're showing our favorite person, Michael Williams, right now.
I am. Okay, hold on.
Brooklyn beloved. So I know the question is not about him, but we love.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's roll with him. Let's roll with him. Let's roll with him.
So I absolutely am heartbroken at his untimely passing for a lot of reasons. I follow both him and I also follow his son, who's Poetic Chef 1 on Instagram. And I've never met him in person, but I've communicated with Mr. Williams through my DM. And I know people who, hang out in Fulton, close to the park, who support a lot of his venues or his movements. And he's a very approachable and likable person. So it's just really heartbreaking to watch. And on top of that, his son, who's a private chef, super, super nice, communicating.
How old is his son?
Son looks like he's in his middle 30s.
Okay.
At eldest, probably like 41, but I don't think he's that old. I think he's actually relatively young.
Because he was 56 when he passed away. So let's say he was 20 when he had him, maybe 36.
He could be 30.
Yeah. 30.
Or 16.
So he's very young, very, very nice. But the sad part is the wife died earlier this year. So
Oh, wow.
So he lost his mother. And if you go to his Instagram, Poetic Chef 1, you literally, like, I want to cry right now, but you literally feel the pain in his comments, in the visuals that he's showing, in the comments from people. And if you're a true Brooklynite, you know the people in the comments, you know him. He does a lot of events. So it's really heartbreaking because he says, he hasn't healed from losing his mom. And the other part about it was the bond and the love that you saw, which is not shown a lot between Black fathers and sons, was really powerful and amazing as well. So, it's.
I'm glad you came on with that bit of information because I actually was looking yesterday about his background because I was reading a thing about how he was a champion for gay and transsexual Black men. So, in not really understanding the title, I wanted to investigate a little bit deeper because the person almost made it seem as if Brother Michael was gay himself, but he actually wasn't. He just played really good characters and he helped them in their movement as far as having gay men on the screen and bringing black gay men to TV, to movies, and doing it in an excellent way. At least that's what they said. But it's interesting you brought that up about his son and his wife because there wasn't really a lot of information on his personal life. They didn't mention his wife. They didn't mention his son. Then there's
another aspect of that too, which is upsetting to me, and I've said a few words to different people. We're in a time now where I think no matter what's happening in the world, people are looking for sensationalism, right?
Yeah.
They're looking for the like, they're looking for the follow, they're looking for the next image that can go viral. And a problem within our community is that, and I'll go back to way with Will Smith and a couple other Black actors and actresses who have played roles that challenge the normal understanding of sexuality. Every time one of us plays one of those roles, you then hear, "Oh, that person's gay." I don't know if you remember the movie with Will Smith and what was that?
6 Degrees of Separation.
that's really for me when all the rumors about him secretly being gay or the swing rumors came out, and then you have a lot of mainstream shows now that have men and women of color, and to me, you can't be a good actor or actress if like the minute you perform, oh my God, that's who you are. But when it comes to Michael Williams, I have heard those discussions with people for a long time, since the first role that he played where it was challenging. And, I have had arguments with people from Brooklyn and say, listen, I communicate with his son. Do you know who his son is? And on the son's page, he shows a picture of a young Michael Williams, and I'm sorry, I forget his mother's name right now. And his mother, like, when he was a kid. And it's, to me, it's like me looking at my own mom and dad, and I'm saying, why can't people just, the old school, respect the dead? Yeah. You weren't out in the public saying this while he was alive, probably because you get smacked down by half a Brooklyn. And that still can happen. So let's keep it clear, right? So it's sad.
Yeah, just like I said, when someone passes, I just feel it's very important when we highlight their life, to know about their family, to know a little bit about, who they left behind and things like that. But
and how you
in this case, there's very, very little coverage. They paid very, very little, attention to that, and they spoke very, very little. I didn't know if that's the way the brother wanted it. Go ahead.
I think it's a little. Hold on, lights falling.
Wait,
I'm a little bit of conspiracy theorist on certain things. So why would you want to show? Not the same thing as you, though, but why would you want to show this man in his true light? All they cared about was him as an actor and the great roles he plays, and he was definitely all that. Carrie introduced me to him in The Wire.
Oh,
we were together. We've been together 19 years, so he introduced me to him back then. And I mean, when he heard he died, he was like, "Man, I just loved him in that," And so, mainstream America, you can put whatever you want in that quotation of mainstream. They are not going to provide the backstory to us. They're going to say it could have been an overdose. He did these great films. He was great. They're not going to give the story of his family. They're not going to give real life, because that humanizes that person. And, they don't necessarily want us to be humanized.
They don't want us to have another, what's the brother's name? Black Panther that passed?
Yes. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
Black Panther.
His name was.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't. And then, like you're saying, Ayanna, and to be more straightforward, there's only so many positive Black role models I feel like the media is able to allow us at one time.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
and it's also, to piggyback your conspiracy theory, is also kind of, it being that they're gonna not tell us some, about his personal life. Why they gotta put it out front that it may have been an overdose? If they didn't know, they could have just left that out. I've seen many actors die, and we know that it was drugs, and they just conveniently leave that part of the story out.
There was some paraphernalia found near him.
They just threw it out.
No, it was. They said exactly what the drug was. And so when I go down conspiracy lane, right? Yeah. I go all the way down around the corner. And so for me, the fact that it was conveniently found, and it's these real heinous drugs that you don't really hear about.
What are they? Because I don't know. I don't know.
It was. You're
dropping all kinds of jewels on.
And people in Brooklyn who I love, please don't think that I'm.
Yeah. We're not. Listen, this is all love from him from right here.
Yeah. But when I heard it was actually heroin, right? Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm like, he could have passed for anything. And he actually had just signed a big deal that was about to start happening, this next project that he was working on. I'm a huge proponent of someone being jealous and doing anything or leaving anything salt that person's image, or to, send you in a different direction.
And with him, he had just had, I'm not just, but I've been watching like interviews he had, and he talked about his demons with drugs, and he talked about all that. So he was very forthcoming. So to hear, like, I agree with you on that. Like, I can't wait to hear autopsy report. And it may not be what we want to hear, but But even
with that,
I don't trust it.
I don't know how you do heroin in the movies. I thought they put it in a little spoon or something.
Thing. Thing.
Today's word is thing.
Yeah, but my whole analysis is that, I've had a rough last couple of years, and I've contemplated murder in all types of ways, and so it's my feeling that it doesn't matter what comes back in his system, because a person can be feeding you something over time if they're a trusted friend. And let's be clear, if it happened in his home and with us, it is usually someone who's close to us, who knows our weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So the autopsy for me won't even pull anything in anyway.
I agree. I just like, it's just, you cannot like, look, I tell my story now.
Yeah.
And when the opportunity presents in the future, I'm so transparent so that you can't tell my story for me when I'm not here.
Me too.
Like, nah. Let me get that straight. I did that, and I didn't regret it. There's some things I could have did different, because people will jack your story up. You can't hijack my stuff. No.
And no matter if you sit here and you talk about from birth up until the moment that you go to heaven or wherever it is that you believe that you're going to go, they will still paraphrase and insert and do kind of anything anyway.
As long as your people know who you are, that's all I say. As long as your people can speak up for you, don't be silent, y'all. If some people start saying the wrong stuff, speak up. Tell them, like I would tell for you. If you my friend, don't you let nobody talk about me in my death, because I'm gonna come back and haunt you.
Facts. Well, I got our next.
Okay, let's go.
I got our next guy.
Man, listen.
Let me take a woo-time moment.
Man, listen. I'm just gonna back out of this one because
no. There is no backing out.
Okay, so
let me start. Let me start with probably the weakest take of all. Right, my whole issue, right, is these guys. There's like a group of guys now that
clowns.
They just love talking about alpha males and beta males, and it came about from this dude, like this guy. And you just have these black men that are so onto this. Oh, I'm an alpha male. I'm a beta. They have no idea what they're talking about.
And an alpha male don't have to say that they're alpha male.
Hello.
Exactly.
Golly, just grab me by my collar.
It's like this obnoxious
clown
talk.
And I think there's a difference between, in my eye, an alpha male and an A-type personality. And I think people lose direction of those two. But then I'm also going to say something and make a comment that is unfounded because I have not researched it, right? And I'm not absolutely clear. And
talking about a beta male right here.
I have only listened to Mr. Samuels. I'll give him the same amount of respect that I just gave Mr. Williams for a total maybe of 4 minutes, right?
You got that far? I said, you got that far?
Well, because people are constantly sending me things like a lot of guys that I know. What, Donatella, I want to hear what you think about this. No, you can't, because I'm not going to listen once I click on the link and I realize it's him. But I will say that, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. I know you can be an alpha male regardless of your sexual orientation. But my understanding currently is that he is not a heterosexual male. And so a lot of the things that I hear him say are so demeaning and degrading to women that I personally feel like he's upset with us that he wasn't born a woman. Therefore, he is targeting us, unjustly, because to apply a blanket statement over an entire race of women, and again, I don't know if there are women of other races or national, I'll say races who he talks about, but my understanding is that he only degrades and belittles women of color, and only a certain
Type.
demographic.
Yeah.
A certain demographic, because women I would say women with a certain level of confidence in themselves are not going to allow themselves to be manipulated and put in the place.
Or subject themselves to that.
We would not entertain that behavior on any given day. I don't care. Like that.
Do you think people get paid? Do you think he's using paid actors?
That was going to be my next direction, right? And then payment comes in many forms. So for me, someone who's all into brand strategy and the power of influence, I would sit down and look at the pros and cons and say, what is the worst case scenario that a 3-minute interaction could do as a participant on his show? Because number one, your profile name becomes documented and attached to that BS, but depending on the interaction, he slices and dices it and replays it over and over, and your numbers shoot up from here straight up to there. And when it comes to social media, it doesn't really matter if the publicity is positive or negative. It all, kind of blends together and transfers to viewership, which leads to monetization, right? I think some of those people go on there with the sure intent to act like a fool,
so they can blow up.
Of being viral, yes. Because if you really are having some of the problems that, he says, you could end up being like the young lady, Lala, who started out, and not Lala from,
not Carmelo. Not Carmelo.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, not that Lala. But there's another young lady known as Lala in comedy who acted a fool on Instagram all the way to Hollywood and the big screen, and she's doing amazing things. And that's the problem with, the power of social media. I personally think we can talk about him today and then force myself to look at him and then come back with some different little bits in a future show. But because I would really like to find out, I just feel like if he really is not a heterosexual man, where is all of his expertise coming from? Because how does he know?
You're looking at it. Apparently, that's his girlfriend and that's his daughter. Apparently.
Oh, so he is a heterosexual male.
That's his girlfriend.
Oh, So and then again, there are a lot of people who have full-blown families.
It's called a beard. It's called a beard.
Right. Or if you're from Atlanta, it's called down low, right? But I just feel like, and one thing he does do well that I also saw in my 4 minutes, he's learned how to manipulate any situation to his advantage. If you're too intelligent, he hits that little buzzer, drops you off, right? If you don't give the answer he wants, his branding game is definitely way up there, with his music and his sounds. I've watched him grow as a brand from the little one-on-one interaction to the backdrops and all the noises and the big mixing board, right?
Obviously the brother is talented. I just think he should channel that energy into something productive rather than just tearing Black women down.
It's productive for him. And the demographic is
productive for society. He's a good dresser. He's a smart guy. He has things to say, but I think it should just be on a platform where the object should not be the degradation or demeaning Black women like that. That's not how that's not how he should make his coin. Like,
but
he should do better. Go ahead, again.
Well, no, I agree with the expectation of his behavior and who he chooses to degrade. But if you don't, he doesn't even respect himself if he's degrading a black women to the extent that he is. Why is that? Isn't his mother black?
Exactly. And they don't.
And maybe somebody
did about his parents much either. From what I said,
his parents have probably said, "Don't you dare bring us into that brouhaha," right? And while I am in my retirement stage and I got to deal with Miss Sally at church asking me why don't I get my son to behave.
Yeah, he's not big on
it's something else. I mean, and you know what? Even just regular men who are not branded, you can tell how they talk about black women, and then you look at the relationship they have with whoever that black woman is in their past, or who loved them, who hurt them the most, or who loved them, who made their hearts a little soft, who punked them, who did this, who took this, who I mean, you can tell by their behavior. So somebody somewhere did something to Mr. Samuel,
or just the opposite, who didn't hug him, who didn't
same thing. Yes.
Who
that made his heart hard.
Yeah, who left him at the altar, or it's really what it is for a lot of people. It is a revenue stream, and he doesn't believe any of the BS he's saying.
Oh dear.
Maybe he's like that other gorgeous specimen of a man who was talking about infidelity and so on. Jackson, what's his name? He was
that dude. Yes. And his wife, he brought her on, and she looked like somebody just got her. Oh yeah.
That whole story, oddly enough, as viral as he was with 1-point-something million followers, before the pandemic, I was like this, all over the place, doing my thing, working, whatever. During the pandemic, I got to know a lot of personalities I had no idea were even breathing on the earth, right? And so he was that, front driver's seat psychologist.
Yes.
For relationship person. Gentlemen, don't cheat on your wife, and you do this and you do that. All to find out he totally was doing the complete opposite, had a girlfriend
who was a preacher,
was trying to convince to abort her child outside of his wedlock. And then the poor wife who, and I'm going to tell you, I always say these men who are out there cheating, like wholeheartedly cheating with all kinds of respect, is usually because if you follow them home, in my opinion, they have good women at home who are taking care of the house, taking care of the children. Some of them have their own careers, but they're cheating because they know they can, because they know home is good. And then they come home and they're the whole different person. That's one perspective. Then I think a lot of men cheat because they're in relationships where the woman is stuck there financially. Like the amount of women who I hear say, I can't wait until my kid turns 18 or they go to college, and I'm gone.
Or they cheat because they feel a certain way about themselves.
Yes.
And they can go to ratchet chick down the block and be lifted up higher and feel really good about themselves. So it's a lot.
There's a gazillion reasons why it happens.
It's a lot of reasons, but the one thing women in general have to know eventually is not about you, sweetie. Yeah. It's not about you. And it's a hard pill to swallow because you always think it should be about you. It's not about you. And then honestly, once you take that power back, you'll be able to smile from your heart and it won't be fake. And you may be able to forgive. You can move on. You can do whatever you want because you got your power back.
Don't forget. Forgive, but don't forget. Someone told me a very ratchet saying a long time ago. I remember the first time I got my heart broken and someone cheated on me. And me as a woman, I was looking at the person that they cheated on me with, and I couldn't understand it from the perspective of, and this is me thinking on education level, professional level, physical appearance. And one of my very close friends, we're close friends today, he told me, he said, Donatella, P, representing the word, has no face. So if you
doesn't.
As you understand what I'm saying. So he kept saying to me, don't try to understand why that person did that. That's just something that they did. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Because I've seen some guys who cheat, and when I look at their partners, the women, I think the women are very attractive. They look very productive. And the other thing that came into my head, discussing with my girlfriends, I said, sometimes I think some of these men just do it to remind themselves that they still got it. Or the person who's in the long-term relationship probably helped you get to where you are. So now that you're sitting in the corner office, don't kind of mean anything because, hey, I helped you get that education on the side while you were working hard. I was taking care of the family. So we're neck and neck. But for that person outside who doesn't know the struggle, all they see is your nice shoes, your nice car, and your direct deposit, right? So, you walk on air. Well, that's just my thought.
With all that being said, it takes two to tango. So, we also have to shine a light on the women that participate in in allowing these men to carry out these thoughts, these fantasies, or what you call it. And I mean, if you just look at OnlyFans, the way they are marketing themselves to anyone that will pay,
those two don't go together though.
No, right? I'm just saying it's a big dynamic. Look, what I'm saying is that you see when you're like on my timeline, I'm going down Twitter, I get hit with all kinds of stuff. I almost can't look at my phone if my kids are around.
Then you shouldn't be on Twitter
throwing stuff in your timeline. Then I gotta block. I block like 5 things a day, right? But it still comes, right? So sometimes,
hold on.
So what I'm saying is, a person can get inundated with that, and then that spirit or whatever, that desire now is like, you know what? No. And then, okay, listen. You know it all by
Let me give you a perfect example. There are 2 things that bothered me the most. Me being a single female, never married. I get hit on a lot by married men. I'll be honest. I've dated one before as well. I knew him before he was married. That doesn't make it any better, right? I get tired of it. I just had this discussion with someone yesterday. Well, so there are 3 things. The men who tell me when I ask, why do you cheat? I asked someone that I've never been involved with yesterday, who I know cheats. Why do you cheat on your wife? And he said to me, and I hear this all day from guys, there are more women on the planet than there are, let's say New York, more women in New York than there are men. And a lot of men now are gay. And so if I don't see other women, there are women like you who are not going to have a partner. And I looked at him and I was like, yo, you don't believe that, really. And I said, that's an excuse. That's not a reason. And it's also not true. Because we just will date outside of our race. But that's the statistic for, like men of color.
So basically, I'm trying to help the women out because there's not enough of us to go around.
Guys, ladies, there are things that men say that we say when
just because.
It's part of the game. And there's things we say when we're being honest, right? There are things we're going to tell you to make it seem like we're having just a regular conversation. But that's part of the game.
This person is not trying to date me. I know who he's cheating with.
I didn't say that. I'm just letting you know.
But let me finish with
there are things that men say that's just part of the game that may come off as them just talking, but it's part of the strategy.
There's no strategy. That's just how a lot of them feel. Here's the other one, right? So
first of all, men that cheat always cheat. So they always game. A brother that's cheating is always on go. He's
anyway,
always on go.
like I said,
there's no way I only cheat with one girl. I only got one girl. No, you always on go.
I'm finishing my perspective as a woman on the receiving end. The second reason I hear a lot of men say, as long as I'm taking care of home, it shouldn't matter what I'm doing outside. And so I said, there are diseases that are still out there that condoms don't protect you from. How would you feel if you took herpes home? How do you explain that? And every person I've asked that to, they start with, why would you say something like that? You're going to jinx the whole situation.
You jinxed it. Okay, sorry.
So, exactly. So that's the other perspective. They do it because they can and because they feel like as long as they go home every night or the bills are paid and their partner, their woman isn't wanting anything, they're fine. So my response is always, oh, they are wanting for something. They're wanting that word that nobody says anymore, monogamy.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, the African part of you don't know anything about monogamy, except for you.
I'll be doggone. Don't let wifey come over here.
I am peacemaker today. I got my white flag up. It's been a rough 10 days. I got my white flag up. I'm not going hard today. I'm not.
And I'm being gentle on this topic. I am being gentle. I could yeah.
Listen,
so
and the other thing is, another reason why men cheat a lot of times is sometimes they feel the same reasons. And honestly, we need to just cut the men and women thing out.
Okay.
It's all the same thing.
Okay.
Well,
Underappreciated. Sometimes you don't feel like your partner likes you, just on a basic level. And every person has a desire to be liked. Everyone wants to be touched. Everyone wants to be hugged. And you're not getting that. And you start going through a little depression yourself. And you start feeling like, wow, what's going on with me? And so your natural state. No, you're not. Why people going like, no, we're not doing that. So your natural state is sometimes to question, see if you still got it. See if
so you still got it.
If someone says something to you, you're like, oh wow, okay,
I still got it. They want me, yeah. And you go
and it's like, ditch wow, digging. Okay. So that's I said, there's a lot of stuff that goes into. We could talk all day on that. So we're gonna transition to the next one, which is funny too, because let's go.
And we want to change our topic header. Let's get rid of Kevin's name.
Yeah, it's going. It's coming. Watch. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Booyah! Here we go.
Oh, Jesus!
What is that? I can't see.
That's what's his name? Umar.
Umar got married to 2 women at the same time this past Saturday.
Is he a Mormon? I don't know who
You don't know Dr. Umar? Wow. Okay. Dr. Umar basically is the
habitual liar.
Oh, that wait, Bub. Before we start talking about Umar, we need to update the title section.
Where's the time? Okay, I got you.
Let's
Boom, I got you.
I do know. He's another person that people forward me and I don't listen.
Habitual liar.
Yeah,
where that building at?
I laugh. No, he got married at the building.
So the building was finally built?
No. So what? So I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody gifted him a building in Delaware, but he has a building. Can you guys see the video? Can you see this video? Okay.
I'm looking over here.
So that on the right corner is the building. So he has a school, an abandoned school in Delaware that he's been trying to raise money to renovate. So this weekend he threw like basically like a barbecue.
To my two lovely queens.
So he had vendors, performers, all of that, and decided to get married at the same time.
Wait, Delaware is a state that recognizes multiple
African
marriages.
vanilla,
Of course
African lemonade.
Of course not. So the joke is one of them really is and one isn't.
Both
Oh, okay.
I will never
But
be
you know,
beside.
for people who don't
I shall
read
never look
and just look at
upon.
visuals, now you got brothers running around trying to talk to their girlfriends about marrying the side chick.
Absolutely. And you see, what's always disappointing about Umar is that he has some really cool idea. I like listening to him. I find a lot of stuff he says funny too. I think he's great with words. You know, he likes repeating himself. You know, so it sounds funny. And he's very charismatic. But you know, like there's no explanation. Okay, like this came out of nowhere. You know, you were supposedly raising money for you, for and then you just drop a double marriage on this, and there's what comes about being an influencer. So the millions of people that follow him probably are gonna think is a good thing to do, to start trying to be with two women at the same time.
I am not going to be a queen and you calling somebody else a queen next to me. We will not double trouble, tag team, make your dreams come true. No, no, no. And the clowning that he's done, remember, Bud, we talk about this. I'm like, you got to be responsible. And you just said this. You have to be responsible for what you choose to share. That's madness. That is extreme madness. And all the PhDs in the world won't make that right. No, and people are clapping it up.
He marries an ebony and he marries an ivory. Like it's just so much. Yeah, you didn't see the ivory and the ebony.
Yeah, I can't. You know, I have this wonderful large circular light that blocks me from bullshit. I'm sorry. Man,
so and it's like, wait a minute, we're raising money for you to build this house. How are you gonna support two wives at this point?
No, I think it was a great branding strategy. Now he's opened himself up to both the minority and majority supporters, those who champion his non-black wife and those who are into black and brown.
You are very successful.
He calls her a white African or something like that, a vanilla African or something. That's what I'm saying. Like he's he's trivializing the whole thing. Like it's, you know. The whole, polygamy, the fact that he's into Ifa tradition, he has multiple wives, but it's so much deeper than that. And as an educator, at least have I think it's important to have a discussion about these things, especially before you drop it on everybody.
The branding gimmick, and I guarantee you, he's at viral status today, and within the next 2 days, I don't know him. He's going to come up with a new product. About how to marry the two women.
He's been swindling people for a long time. Bub, that is what it is, and you know it. He has been swindling and trying to raise funds, and people are like, "Where's the money at? Where's the money?"
He got no receipts. He ain't showing us what he done with the money. That school looked the same way it did 3 years ago when he got it. You know, he keeps telling us he's going to open. And it's not open.
How much pandemic relief he received. You know, there's a website that you can go to and type his name and see if he got a PPP loan or if he got an SBA loan.
He still doesn't have the building. People gave him money.
We'll find out. He got enough people that hate him. He got a lot of people that hate him.
Is he a 501c?
I'm sure
we don't know.
Actually, because he goes around doing lectures and. You know, he calls himself a clinical psychologist, and
so there was a rumor that he didn't even earn his PhD, and it almost was. I think it was proven that it was like from some school that doesn't exist. I'm going back
it's
within
very,
years.
very sketchy. Or everything he's saying is very, very sketchy. Like,
and we need to be careful about even sharing this stuff about him.
No,
let's all adults. We can have a good laugh.
Like straight up trash.
No. So in wake of what Ayana said, this is the entertainment section of the podcast.
Yes.
And we are in no way, or shape, or form saying that we acknowledge, accept, or support.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
Look at me in this climate, but it's just so funny that in 2021, is this on the comeback now? Is this going to be the new thing? Because one thing about the followers of these people, no, absolutely, they're very passionate about their leaders. I mean, America loves to follow people, and whatever their hero is doing, they're gonna want to imitate.
It's not just America. Come on, in Africa, Nigeria, those.
But he's based here. Like he's. Yeah, based
I'm just being clear that everywhere loves to follow. Everywhere.
Oh yeah. We are on another level in Nigeria when it comes to hero worship. Like it's pathetic. It's.
I know.
People will kill themselves with their hero. If their hero dies, they want to get in a coffin and die with them.
Yeah. Your Nollywood actors in Nigeria, the ones that star on Big Brother Nigeria, they walk on air. I communicate with a lot of them on Snapchat, and it's amazing to me how powerful and big they are. But then I have to remember there are so many beautiful Black and brown people in Africa that the numbers that you see over there are not really quite like the numbers on social media.
No, it doesn't mean the same thing.
Here in the United States, like you could just wake up and take a picture with a Nollywood star, and you have 1 million followers like that in Nigeria.
Wow.
That's why I'm trying to book my trip. Bub, you need to stop leaving me.
I told you you're gonna be on it, man. Don't worry, we're gonna be on it. It's not easy. One of the things is raining crazy in Nigeria every day.
Season. Like, is it the rainy season?
It is rain season, but it's like ridiculous. Like global warming
is real.
Yeah. But the problem is they're not really that information. They don't know about it. They don't know that this is not normal. They just think, they wake up every day. Oh God, it's raining again. They don't understand that this climate change thing is really bad.
The flooding that I saw in Lagos in Lekki Phase 1. I wish
they're sitting on the ocean bed, so they're right there.
I wish I had some kayaks to send people over there. Wow. It's insane.
Cars be trying to drive through it and get swept away. It's
that's
crazy.
One of the things that was interesting to me when I went to Nigeria. I traveled, and I'll use an example because I know my girl Ayana is a native New Yorker. So I traveled the distance from, let's say, Brooklyn to Manhattan in Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about how bad the traffic is. Remember when they used to talk about how bad the traffic was in Los Angeles when people were shooting each other on the highways?
405. Mm-hmm.
In Nigeria, that same distance that might take 45 minutes, I swear to you, and I should swear, I literally was in my Uber for 7 hours.
Listen, I drive anywhere in the world. I think I'm a great driver. I will not drive in Lagos. I will not drive in Lagos.
I was falling asleep in the Uber, but I wasn't worried about being kidnapped because it wasn't moving at all.
Like the cars are going like like it's a fight with the car.
I have to, so the car I was in got hit. And here I'm like, oh no, now we got to call the police and do an insurance claim. That don't exist in Nigeria. And all the cars
you fighting.
There's no lanes on the road. It put me in mind of something my mother told me, and I thought she was being dramatic. This is a long time ago. She was living and working in Saudi Arabia, and she said that when she got into her car, she was horrified, not from the people, but just because the cars were like zigzagging, going anywhere they wanted. There were no street lights, right? And people were cursing at you and cutting you off. And when I was in Nigeria, by the time I got kind of close to where I was, the person was like, listen, I'm gonna just walk to you and get you. You're not that far.
Get out the car, yeah. But listen, don't let us scare you now. Mind you, most part of the country, right? When you hit Lagos, Lekki, and the island, that's like going that way, right? So if you're going that way, you're going in traffic. When I land, I go this way. I leave town. I leave the state. Whereas not this.
So Bob, look, I don't drive in New York City.
Yeah.
Because it's madness. In the Uber, I was when I was just there, I was like, But when my dad passed, we had to go to Dominican Republic. What you guys just described to me is what I experienced right there. I mean, I'm looking at a car coming straight at me. And I'm like,
yes.
The police over in Nigeria, they may have it in DR too, have the big guns and
AK-47s.
Forget it. If somebody wealthy, most of the time I was there, I was in a security driven car. If they come, they little military people get out. They stop traffic, and you have to let their car come through. It's the most exhilarating feeling. But then when you look at the locals, they're looking at you like you somebody, and then you got to be careful when you out by yourself, when you back to being nobody, which is what was
the president.
They remember you.
The former president. My dad was pretty famous in Dominican Republic, so he had like a state funeral. So what you're saying with the guns and security, the former president of Dominican Republic came.
Wow.
But and that was it was what it was. It was an honor and to hear different things. The former president actually grew up in the city. They went to elementary school together in New York. So he got to tell us some stories about my dad and the Boy Scouts and playing basketball. So that was great. But those guns you were talking about, yes, because where the funeral home was, the current president lived like down the block. So you could see the guards outside. I mean, and it looks like, why would somebody want to live here? It's in the middle of everything in San Domingo. So like, I know I aged probably like 4 years from driving from the airport, and I wasn't driving. I was a passenger. They were like, get in your phone. So I just had to put my head down like that, because if I look up, I was like totally. And in New York, it was the same thing. Like the Uber driver, the Lyft driver was like, I was like, the light's red. Why are you making this left?
That's Canal Street traffic right there.
I stayed in Times Square.
I could be an Uber driver. That's, I like that dipping and diving.
Nah,
I see that Bub has changed our.
No, I'm back. I'm about to wheel to the next topic.
It's changed our topic, and I feel like I wish I knew we were going to talk about verses, because I don't know about Jermaine Dupri and Diddy, right? Diddy's going to have a lot to play, because remember, he went through that whole stage when he was on everybody's song. And so if they do it anything like the verses that just happened with Ja Rule and Fat Joe, which I watched, which was hilarious.
I wanted to do that one, but I didn't get to watch
I forgot.
I heard it was like bonkers. So we probably got to bring it back next week, because I didn't get enough info. I heard it was just crazy, crazy.
It was insane, and given the way they did things, so you were allowed to use your compilations, right?
Yes,
I guess, and your collaborations and things like that. I probably would watch Jermaine Dupri and Diddy. Does it? Jermaine Dupri was he's like an Atlanta guy, so in my head, I cannot think of all his songs. I know he's got a lot.
Well, it's who he did. I mean, look at TLC.
Did you see how he started? He said "beloved." He gave Jermaine Dupri the beloved talk. Like he said, "Beloved, you my nigga, but your arms too short to box with God." Like, oh my God! I mean, this is Jermaine Dupri you're talking about here.
Just so you know, that's not an original thought, because that is exactly what he didn't use those words, but that's exactly what Ja Rule was saying to Fat Joe the whole show. And Ja Rule won, number one. And
really?
Yeah, and the other part that Ja Rule was kind of playing Fat Joe on, he was like, when Fat Joe was talking about how many songs, he was like, you know what? you should have a lot of songs. You was outside before I was born, and now here, some 15, 25 years later, you still outside, and you still haven't matched my hit songs. And so, you know, and then Fat Joe was hitting him too with, you know, playing the old school hardcore rap music and reminding Ja Rule, oh, you were still inside then. You hadn't even come outside. So, you know, that kind of thing was going on.
That wasn't a good match. That wasn't a good.
That's not a good match.
That's not a good match.
I honestly think Jermaine Dupri with his artists would be a good matchup with Diddy. I mean, these guys are super talented. That's only if they work with everybody. I honestly give Jermaine Dupri the edge.
Until Diddy start dancing with Biggie.
He brings out the.
But here it is. He can't play a Biggie song he not on.
Yes, he can.
He's a producer. Yes, he can. Because Jermaine Dupri ain't nobody's.
But Easy Mo B produced a lot of Biggie stuff. Diddy didn't produce Biggie's music.
Did he skip through a lot of
songs? He was the executive producer.
No, but so do they count? One of the things that Ja Rule was saying, that I really liked, and one thing that I've met him in person many times, what I like about him, he's always talking about uplifting like the community. You really should watch that challenge, that versus if you get a chance, because most of the things he was saying, like he did a tribute to Tupac, to Stretch, a lot of people who passed, and he was talking about unity a lot. One thing he was talking about was the amount of songs that he wrote for people, which is also part of
his catalog.
But he wasn't really using it. So when Fat would play a song and maybe he just had a few verses on, Ja Rule would call him out. That ain't yours. That ain't yours. You know. But I'm wondering if at this point, let's go, because I remember, did Diddy buy like the masters or something to Biggie's catalog? So
I don't think he needed to buy him because he was right. He brought out. I mean, Diddy was on Bad Boy. That was his label. So.
But not Diddy. Biggie was.
As an artist, if we're going artist to artist, I'm just saying that Diddy should only be on allowed to play songs he's on. Either he produced it or he's dancing on it or rhyming or something.
But Jermaine ain't on that many songs either. Jermaine got Bow Wow.
Yeah. But if you remember, he danced on everybody's thing. Because I'm sure you know who he's and if he's smart, right? Ja Rule saved Ashanti for the end. You know, during that show, Nelly came out. Remy Ma did her thing with Fat Joe. Loved her outfit. But I have to tell you, the two singers, Ja Rule said some real foul stuff. I probably should wait till Bud comes back. But he brought out Vita and Lil Mo. And did you hear that part, Bud? Ja Rule, I was saying that Fat Joe brought out Remy Ma. She was awesome. At the end, Ja Rule brought out Ashanti, shut the place down. Nelly came out with Fat Joe.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay, Ja Rule. I thought you said Fat Joe, brother. I had him too. I'm like, wait a minute. That's Ja Rule's.
No, but
that's his biggest song was with Ashanti.
But guess what? After he sang with Ashanti, Fat Joe was like, oh, I had to beg Ashanti to come out here and sing with him. He ran over and grabbed Ashanti, and then Ashanti did her song with Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
Oh my God.
But what I was really talking about was there's a young lady I didn't recognize. I know who she was. Fat Joe was saying some real disrespectful things before all of the collaboration to Ja Rule. So he was saying how Ja Rule's women all look like crackheads, right?
Lord.
But the move that he played that was very much Bronx, Brooklyn, New York style was he bought out Birkin bags, gift wrapped for Ashanti and Remy Ma doing the show and gifted them on stage. And I felt so bad for Lil Mo and Vita, who just in appearance, you could tell they're not doing anything in the music industry. Vita was so thin, and it looks like she works out, I would kill for her waistline. But he literally called them crackheads on the
Yo, that's why he was apologizing. You should see his apology today. Like, all black women are queens. I mean, he was just going. I apologize. I am sorry. I mean, it was pathetic.
He was like, "You."
I didn't know that's what he did yesterday.
Oh no, he was like,
called them crackheads.
They looked really bad.
Because everybody was saying that he wouldn't say that if J-Lo was back there.
Yeah, but she also wouldn't look like a crackhead.
I was about to say J-Lo looked bad. Like, she looked good.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna let 51 hold steady, whatever, because she looked good.
Yeah,
at 65, right? Sure.
Yeah,
J-Lo's
whatever age she older than that.
At 65, you mad disrespectful. You mad disrespectful. You know who looks good? And Ja Rule went shirtless. When he took off his shirt, it was.
Oh God!
We know who wasn't gonna take off their shirt.
Fat Joe. No, it's Joe now. He don't even do the Fat Joe no more.
He still can't take off his shirt. You can take fat off of Joe, but Joe can't take his shirt off.
I thought he was gonna be able to play something, and maybe he did. So he played like some old Terror Squad stuff. I have to tell you, watching that show, and I'm sure it hurts him. I wish Big Pun was alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
I'm looking forward to this though.
A likable character.
I'm looking forward to Jermaine Dupri and Diddy. I will put that on my calendar.
Diddy said that he ain't doing it. Diddy said he wants Dre. That only Dre could compete with him.
No. But the owners of Triller and Versus, they did a little talk at the end. Do you know who they're trying to get? I don't know where Jermaine Dupri and Diddy came. It probably was birthed after the initial challenge they wanted. They want Kanye and Drake.
And Drake, of course.
They can't afford that.
Kanye is like, nah, I don't want to be. Kanye with anybody would be crazy.
I wouldn't want, like, they could play his music, but I don't want to listen to Kanye. I don't want to hear.
The interesting part, though.
That would be the only reason to watch, is to see how off the chain he would get. Like, I don't want to listen to you today. Like, we could play your College Dropout, and we could do a few of those, but I don't want to hear.
He would bring the whole gospel church up on stage with him.
No, with your raggedy, expensive clothes and your like. I'm just gonna go buy the ugliest shoes in the world. They cost my mortgage. Stop playing. Stop it. But yeah, I did hear Diddy and Dre. I did hear that, and that would be pretty huge because Dre has. I'm just gonna go white boy.
Wait, you said Drake, right?
No, Dre,
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Snoop
Doggy Dog.
No, but he got Eminem.
I used to love him, but that
his wife, that his divorce and that movie.
Well, not even his wife. That too, because he got real nasty. Like he needs to be slapped in that situation.
How he treated Michelle.
Yeah, the what do you call it?
The movie,
the documentary, the TV movie. Because me as a young person, I remember going to concerts and meeting NWA and all of those people, and then thinking to myself, "Wow, while I was real impressed with you, you was backstage slapping the S out of people, and that's hurtful to me."
Yeah.
And I would never buy another Dr. Dre product.
That's why
But I wanted to get back to real quick. Y'all mentioned Kanye and Drake. I would love to see these guys. I would just like an interview. Put them in the same room.
Oh my God.
There's so much to peel back there between the music, because they're going at each other, like they're firing straight shots at each other right now.
Get a therapist. I'm just saying, I can't do.
You ever ask yourself how much of that is propaganda for advertising,
for sales, right? But they don't need it. These
Kanye ain't been right since his mama passed away.
No,
he hasn't.
So to me, that is illness. I mean, he's really good at what he does. But I can't entertain that. Like, stop trying to make crazy make sense, because it'll drive you crazy. Like, I live off of that. Like, Kanye. I'm like, I listen to him talk.
Just give him.
And I'm just like, no, no, he's a genius. You know, they say about geniuses, they're crazy too. You know that, right? Like,
yeah,
you guys. So he's just.
I feel like he needs a hug, or a
butt whooping.
Or if you believe in mediums and that type of thing, he needs a good sit down talk with his mom.
He does, and that would help. I actually did one for my dad.
Does he have brothers? Does he have any other family members? Or is it
I think
just
he was
him and
the only
mom?
child.
He was, as far as I know, it's my understanding. He's the only child, but he has so much guilt because that surgery, that cosmetic surgery, was gifted. He gifted that to his mom.
Yeah.
So I would have
he would not. He definitely has not been himself ever since, and unfortunately, he has nobody that he has really no one to really share like that experience.
Grab him by the collar though, like what
he has nobody. He has nobody. If he had at least an older brother or something, or
an auntie,
it's
something. He needs serious. And then jumping right into with Kim Kardashian was just not
madness.
The best. I feel like that's what regular people do. They just have their version of Kim Kardashian. That's what I think people in broken relationships do, period, anyway. You know how you hear about someone who's in this long relationship, it took them forever to get married, or they were forever married, and then you hear they met someone and 90 days later they're married or they're deep in love. And I feel like it's because you have so much tension with all that past in that situation. Anything that looks like what you think normalcy is, you fall head over heels.
You're drawn to it
because it's so much easier because there's no past, there's no history. So when I see people, all upset, I can't believe we were together 12 years and here it is. He never posted me on social media. He's posting this girl everywhere. I said he don't have 12 years with her, or vice versa. It's anything besides what you are is gonna look.
Have they ever collabed on a song together? Have they collabed? I can't think of it. Have they collabed on a song together, Kanye and Drake? Ever?
Let's see what Google says.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't pay that close attention.
Because to me, when Drake was coming, he reminded me of Kanye. Like, he seemed to be like the Kobe to Kanye being Jordan. And then now, and they're all talking about that now as Drake feels that he surpassed him, and he's an old timer and he need to go sit somewhere.
Who, Drake?
Yeah, that's what Drake's saying about Kanye.
That he passed.
Passed him.
I think he probably is judging it on all perspectives. So if all of your music is tight, right, but you have a lot of negative, I feel like Drake doesn't have as many public negative situations as Kanye does. Yeah. And so he's adding that like you told me with my stick shift today, he's adding that to his plus factors, right? Or his likability, which is true. Right? Because I wasn't, like this gospel album that he did, I wasn't particularly moved by it because if I don't believe in you and your craziness, I can't
listen to what you're saying.
Right. And for me, you didn't make gospel music for the sense of what gospel music means. You made it for the profitability.
And for his agenda. He had his agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, I've never gotten past when he wore the skirt. Back.
I don't remember that. I think he's trying to transcend music in some ways. Like Kanye's trying to he's trying to like create this next level that I don't think
he's trying to Prince life. You're not Prince.
Yeah, he's trying to becoming something bigger than what life.
Like, remember when Kanye wore the skirt? He wore a skirt and then Jay-Z wore some ridiculous outfit at some awards right before they start wearing the t-shirts that look like dresses.
I'll Google it, but hold on.
But
they did.
They're very different. Okay, go ahead.
To answer your question, you said, did they collabo? Yes, on different things. Yeah. Well, Drake used to. It says freestyle over many beats by Yeezy, by Kanye, by Ye. They said "Thank Me Later" proves they shared power. So after meeting in 2009, the duo came together to bring Drake's Thank Me Later album to the next level. They collaborated on 2 tracks, the futuristic love song Show Me a Good Time and Find Your Love.
Yes.
And in 2009, Drake calls Kanye the most influential person.
Look at that. Look at that. How soon you forget.
And they have collabos on Wax. The pair has been making music together for nearly 10 years with some standout tracks, including Forever, the remix to All of the Lights, and Pop Style on their 2017 song Glow off of Drake's playlist More Life. Both rappers discuss their growing limitless success.
And then Drake goes and tries to steal his wife. See, this is the stuff I'm talking about.
But Drake you can't steal somebody.
Drake is nasty.
You can't steal somebody.
Nobody steal. You can't steal Kim.
Hello, you cannot steal someone who doesn't want to be stolen. Number 1.
Right.
Number 2, you can't steal someone who's for everybody anyway.
Can y'all see that my light's in the way?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So and again,
hit them.
It's the marketability of things, right? You say that they don't need it. At some point, and then you don't really know. We don't really know what they need. Because people with that amount of money are still buying and spending and buying and spending. And for all you know, they could be like a lot of these actors, 50 Cent declared bankruptcy at 400 million one time. You don't know what they have. But to me, I think those people anybody always wants more. Right?
But I think it's more to it. I do believe that, but I think because people are not authentic who are around these celebrities, you don't have anybody in your ear checking you. Like you think because you have this and your money is this and your celebrity that everybody around you is going, yes, 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 yes. You need a ride or die that's going to take the heat when they tell you the truth. Like, yo, chill the heck out. Check yourself.
You have to you don't have to.
You know what though? It's so hard because that person that you're feeding, that person that you're buying, with clothes, cars, food, and taking care of, you don't want to jeopardize that. Or for just being
I know where it is, but guess so. Then get a friend you don't have to buy. I mean, I'm sorry, I
think that would have been Jay-Z. I think, but Jay-Z faded him once. You know, him and Kim Kardashian stuff. I think Jay-Z would have the big brother he was looking for.
Okay. So I know we're talking about Ye and Drake, but you brought up Jay-Z, and I have to segue into how do you feel? You know, Jay-Z supposedly is investing or buying into the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't read the article, but I saw it.
So my brother, I keep trying to get my youngest brother to join one of our lives. He is a walking historian about anything. He can tell you about things that happened when he was 3 and 4 years old. It's quite amazing to me. But I wonder though, because I asked my brother, okay, talking about Jay-Z buying the Denver Broncos, right? I hope it's not the same way he allegedly bought the Brooklyn Nets. You know, is it again, I'm always with the marketing ploy. Being in a team, you know, that's especially for Denver, who's struggling with black and brown issues, because people get shot out there all the time, right? You have to think
their management is shady. John Elway's shady.
Yeah, you have to think about, and Jay-Z again, very, very smart business person, but I'm not as excited by what a lot of those artists do at this point, because with that type of money, you're supposed to be doing all those things, but you put your brown face out front because you know, as an influencer, your people are going to follow right behind you. Like the day that Jay-Z announced that it was cool to wear blazers and button-downs, and Brooklyn turned around overnight, and all the thugs had on button-downs and blazers. I was so pissed off, I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, this is business casual, fools. He didn't invent anything. But it's all about the power of influencing. Well, why doesn't, to me, Why doesn't Jay-Z wake up one morning and say, "Oh, you know how cool it is to go to the Girls and Boys Club in New York," or everybody give $1. Like that to me makes more sense, because the average us, we're not investing in the Denver Broncos. But now what? Watch all the hot boys from Brooklyn. All of a sudden, they're gonna be on the plane going to a Denver Broncos.
Well, maybe not. I only say that because he tried that with Puma, and I still don't see all the hot boys wearing Puma.
Oh, I missed that way.
Puma is doing better, but they're not like breaking down any doors.
Jay-Z collaborated with Puma. Was this a while ago?
Yeah. This 3-4 years.
Oh,
he became. I mean, the one thing he's been superly successful with is obviously Duce. Duce is you can't get it. It's the demand is beyond.
Well, yeah,
I mean, to think its main rival is Hennessy. Like, there's nothing in the world that could stop Hennessy, but Duce is right there neck and neck with it. But some other stuff he's worked, obviously, his music platform,
his clothing lines. It's clothing, the last rapper who really impressed me, and a lot of people don't talk about him. And I want to look and see what he's doing now. A long time ago, Master P took his first amounts of money and invested them in the Wharton School of Business, and in order to build his portfolio. He started a long time ago with investing money into the sports arenas like boxing, and putting advertisement on boxers' trousers, like the other super boxer, Anthony Hopkins? Is that his name? Yeah. So yeah.
Well, what's up?
In 2013, Miller's wealth is estimated to be $200 million, making him one of the wealthiest figures. He has a whole
about Master P.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So he does a lot.
He's doing something now too. Him and his son.
His son. He's doing
something recently.
Yeah, they did.
Something recent. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. No. He's always very, very smart. And unlike the Jay-Z's and the Kanye's of the world, who like to be in the front camera to me, looking like they're doing a lot, but they really aren't. I'm a huge Beyonce fan, but there's something very strategic about how Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy, all of a sudden everybody's in love with Africa. And I think
Hey, slow down.
No, it's great, but again, our rap culture lacks being genuine to me. The only person I would say Ludacris, he's an honorary citizen to.
Can we just get a pass though? It's Africa. Can we just get a pass for
Ludacris can get a
pass. I'm not gonna debate whether it's right or wrong. Can we just give him a pass?
I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. It's just like in 2014 when
Africa never got no love forever. Like forever. We were African booty scratchers. Come on.
Yeah, but that's because like
Ethiopian refugees.
Yeah, that's what you guys like Black Americans.
We have flies on our noses and our mouths. Come on,
and we have big bellies.
You can thank UNICEF for that. Well, that's a sign of wealth.
But the music.
No. That was starvation. I'm sorry. We're a little older than you.
The music is so sweet coming out of Africa. I can't blame these people. They're listening to it and they're like, "Yo, listen, I want to get on this."
No. Diddy has always been. He's black, but he's always been a culture vulture to me.
Sure, but I'm saying, it's working out for him. Look, they're making money doing it, and they're gaining more followers. They're gaining more exposure, and they're penetrating more markets. They get to go to Europe, Amsterdam, Germany.
No. So why is no one? I want to hear people talk about the Akons of the world, who are actually really genuinely investing money back.
Well, because Akon is literally from the motherland.
I know, but he's still his popularity.
It's weird. It's weird.
I mean, he's
doing some major stuff. Like
major. I watched his video. I even shared it the other day. He's really working with that city now. He needs to start showing some results. but he's doing a lot. I mean, he's doing a lot, but he's not getting the support that he should be getting. I'll say that.
Well,
from the rest of the music community.
Because that people like, you know, when New Jersey gave him the key to the city, I went there. That was like a couple of years ago.
Which city?
They gave him the key to
the
city.
Newark. He's from
Newark.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the water project that he was doing. Okay. Right? But my thing is, those things only pop up on the blimp. You know, you don't see them going viral on TMZ and
nobody want to hear that.
Nobody want to hear that.
Media.
Well, what you do for a living? What do? You like everything is branded. There's no fun. There's no argument. How you gonna argue somebody fixing the water?
Yeah, y'all just said there's a limit of good stories they want to hear about.
No, but that's because people aren't. I think as a whole, our culture doesn't listen to TED Talks. TED Talks Nigeria is amazing. TED Talks.ng. TED Talks Kenya.
They don't even listen to regular United States TED Talks.
They don't watch. See it.
Well, I think it's because none of the social media platforms really talk about it. I just want to make sure, for me, I'm just not impressed with. I mean, you know.
Look, I am happy to see Tiwa Savage and Brandy make the connection. Because look, it introduces Brandy to a whole new demographic of fans, and it kind of revives her career a little bit. And also, you get to see her in another light. You know,
Brandy was I know Brandy. You know, like we have some connections, but Brandy is very. I mean, she's old. Like, if you want to get down to it, she's old. She's younger than me.
Yeah,
but it's hard to come back at that age.
And she's super talented, super talented, trifecta talented. You can't take away anything from her talent. So you got. I mean, Brandy's a little, and she was very Hollywood. She been in the business since she was, 12, 10.
So let me just add something to it. I am not taking away from. First of all, Tiwa Savage and Brandy's new song, absolutely love it. I love that synergy, right? My issue is, to me, Diddy is about to do to Afro beats what he did to rap.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And that's suck all the life out of it.
Remember, Diddy got Burna Boy too. Remember, he jumped on Burna Boy. Diddy's responsible for that second album Burna Boy did.
So I happen to know the producer who did the documentary that he won the Grammy for. I met him, Ayatollah Bello. He's amazing. And 23 years old. He's just finishing school now. But yeah, I know that part. But to be clear, Burna Boy was awesome before.
No.
Diddy.
What I'm saying is, Diddy tried to jump on that.
He didn't try to. He went head first.
Yeah. He tried to get the next Biggie. Like, he's trying, like, this is my artist. This is my guy. I
love Diddy, but ever since that first campaign to vote him and Master Flex, Funk Master Flex, I will never forget the Hot 97 drop where they said www and then whatever it was they were trying to say when they were giving the website address. I will never forget that. Or just the bad grammar. It drives me nuts.
Well, Puffy is Puffy, Diddy, whichever name we're gonna call him, whatever, Sean, blah 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 blah. But because of a relationship he had with a classmate of ours, Bub and I have a different perspective of him. So I'm like, it ain't all, everything that glitter ain't gold.
Oh no, we got the same perspective. I'm from Columbia, Maryland, so
everything that glitter. No, I wasn't even talking about Howard.
We went to high school. We
went to high school with this person.
Days.
Puffy
has been there every level of our lives.
Yeah, Puffy has been. Yeah, and the person that he helped out didn't, like, that person is roasting him on a regular. So
Shine Poe, who only just recently Shine, the rapper.
Oh,
Shine.
yeah. He's an ambassador for
his father's the president.
Belize.
So Belize, yeah. So he just just got back into the United States 4 weeks ago through.
Yeah, I saw. And he was speaking to people, and he just left.
Yeah, well, because he's not supposed to be here to do music. I was so excited. Shine Po's grandmother died right after one of my grandmothers, and on Instagram, I'm big on writing comments. We started communicating, so I've watched him transition, get married, have that baby, all that stuff. But you ask any real Brooklyner, we know that he took the rap for Puffy with that shooting in the club, right? And from then, hasn't been able to come back to Israel. Huh?
I say he had to go camp out in Israel for a while and become a Hebrew.
Yeah, but you know,
look, so wait. He became a Hebrew. What did Mason become? A preacher.
A preacher.
What you talking about? What you? That's our classmate. We went to high school with Mason.
So I'm thinking that's who he's gonna bring out during this clash, Diddy. He's gonna bring Mason out of the court.
But see, Mason's been clowning him. It's hard for me to say Mace. Mason has been clowning him on a regular, and I've seen Mason as Mace. When he first came out, they lied about his age and stuff, and whatever. I went to high school with him. There's no possible way he is 8 years younger than me. No possible way. Then he came down as a preacher. So I got to chill with him for an entire day, and we were like, it was because in high school we was cool. Like the first thing he said to me was like, "Yo, Yano, where's your high school boyfriend?" He talked slow. He said it just like that. I was like, oh my God. But my point is, Diddy, Puffy, Sean, whatever, he has done some stuff to some people. Now, don't get it twisted. I went to the Bad Boy concert, the reunion tour they had. God, that had to be one of the best. The pictures just popped up in my feed from 5 years ago.
Is that the one where they had the stampede or no?
No, you're talking about 1990.
That's 1991.
That's the and one of our classmates died in that too.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we would. But I'm talking about they just had a reunion where 112 was on it, Maze, and and they went from city to city to city. This was 5 years ago. One of the best concerts. I'm a concert. I used to work in radio, so I used to go. I've seen Mary. I've seen you name it. That was one of the best concerts, and they put on a show.
Was good.
I was like, the music was good, but I'm still like.
Do you think he ever gets another artist? Do you think it's over? You think he ever finds another artist? Yeah.
I would if the artist can Google, no.
If the artist is hungry enough, they will Google and just pray. I'm part of those people that said, look at the amount of artists that worked with Diddy that
didn't get paid.
That he profited from after their death, right? Because there's that whole conspiracy line. Did he have something to do with Biggie's demise or not? Because there were rumors that Biggie was getting ready to leave,
about to get signed,
do his own thing. There's just so many different ways to look at everything. Am I impressed and supportive and happy of where he came from versus where he are? That sounds just like him. Where he is now in the world? Absolutely.
But where did he come? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. He's not from Like, he's from Yonkers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he didn't grow up like some of the artists he had that grew up. Yeah, and then he went to Howard. So you had to have, it's a different mentality that he had, and his mother instilled in him, and what his experiences were. So he was
from having, little money to an exuberant amounts of millions, right?
He wasn't paying people. He's supposed.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's the other point that I'm talking about is that. And I'm going to get roasted probably for saying, this next thing. It's kind of like, for me, DJ Khaled, right?
Oh, God.
To me, do I like his music? But they're kind of like the same to me, right? What's happened in rap music, what's happened in dance hall and dance hall people, Diddy, DJ Khaled, Tom Hanks' son, they're all the same.
Oh God!
Who's Tom Hanks' son?
He's mixed.
Who's Tom Hanks' son?
Hello.
He's a DJ. He's a DJ.
Really?
So Tom Hanks' son, I don't know
What's his name?
what he is, but he goes viral quite often because he speaks his version of patois, in love with the Jamaican culture.
Please show me this guy.
Yeah, he got in trouble.
His name is Chet Hanks. Is that him?
Yeah, that's
Chet
him.
Hanks. Okay.
Very, very, very good looking. He got in trouble a couple times recently.
Oh, my light. Hold on.
For his comments about the vaccine.
Okay.
But he is another person to me that's very loved by part of the community. And again, you know, they're all kind of like the same to me in terms of how they use their marketability. They use the viral sensation to go another notch. Just like, do they do well for the community? Yeah. But it's just like the young man who everybody thought was black, who's not black. With the viral
Sean King.
Yeah, Sean King.
Oh, Lord, don't you say.
No, that's
he's
a
black.
whole nother show because I like Sean King. And
So
I know
he's
y'all got
black.
lost too.
He's not black.
He's black. He is black. He's black.
He's black.
He's black.
So wait.
He was adopted by those white people.
So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna have to go back and look, right? But I swear I saw he said he was not black.
No,
that man would never admit that. He would never.
Ever.
No.
And he certified himself marrying a black woman and having black kids. So he's
and he went to Morehouse.
When he dies,
he went to Morehouse.
When he dies, he's gonna say this black man named Sean.
I had
he's
some
gonna write his own obituary.
Hampton. Okay, so then I will remove Sean King from that. But I thought
my real dad is black. Sean King. Google. I just Google is Sean King black. My real dad is black. You can look at his hair texture too.
I'm having intimate.
So that's an argument I got into with someone where I thought he was black, and they kept saying, no, he's like the former head of the NAACP. Remember the white guy?
Listen, there are a lot of people for the same reasons why they rag on Dr. Umar. They feel that Sean King has swindled a lot of people, has raised a lot of money, pocketed, and he hasn't. I love Sean King. I love the work he's doing, but a lot of people feel differently.
So if he is a person of color, then that changes the perspective. But
I don't know that. Honestly, I don't think he really knows. I think he was like picked up as a toddler, as a baby, you know, and like one of those situations where maybe his parents left him in the hospital and somebody claimed him. I think that's kind of what's going on. So no one really knows definitively. But listen, like I said, it's his mindset. If the man wants to be black in his brain, I'm all for that. Please
don't start talking about identified. Because that's different. You can't talk about identify, because then you have to go give that lady back her job that was the head of diversity at NAACP, who identified.
I never said the fire. I supported her too.
I'm just saying.
I support anybody that support black people. I don't care. You could be green.
That's not true. Don't say that.
I do.
No, you don't.
If you support what I support, let me just rephrase.
If someone supports what you support for the sheer
you mean to personally gain? Yeah, that's different.
Personally, that's different. But I'm going to say, if that young lady, I might look out for her. Look her up.
No, but real story.
Young lady who was the head of the NAACP.
Rachel
Dolezal. I really believe I had class with her at Howard. I swear to you. But I really think I had African history with her.
No, but listen, I think Rachel now has the ground, since there's this whole new opening of identifying. She now can go and file a civil suit for wrongful termination because she identified.
I think she did already. Woman.
No, she did that under a different basis. But now, thanks to the LGBTQ plus community, she can now go back and identify, and she identifies just like they do. She has years of identification, right? and file a wrongful termination suit and try to sue to get her job back, actually, or just be compensated.
But let's be clear, she is totally white.
One of these things from that article, I wasn't identifying as Black to upset people. That was that. So she was faking,
exactly.
But see, there's a difference. Like you were faking. Like identifying I know you. So wait, the LGBTQ.
No,
plus
it's the
we know you a man, but you're like.
No. At the time, right? People were saying that she was taking away a job
scholarship
for a Black person.
A scholarship.
But it doesn't
that's
matter
why everybody was upset with her.
Yeah, but
that's why they were upset with her.
She took a scholarship too while she was at Howard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the reason why everybody was upset.
We're talking about two different things. I'm talking about what this new level identifies. So guess what? Come January, I'm doing the research.
It's not going to make people not being upset with her,
January 2022, I identify as a single woman of color with perfect credit, and I want somebody to tell me that that's not who I am. Or I'm going to identify on my resumes as I apply for new jobs as a single woman of credit, half my age. There's a woman in California who lost her job because she lied about her age, right? They're open Pandora's box. Just like
so you said perfect credit. If your credit is not perfect at this moment, that will be solidified as soon as you apply for something and you don't get it because your credit's not perfect.
No, but I'm still identifying. You know, right now they're going to take our sex off of our birth certificates because that information being public is considered dangerous for those who identify as a sex other than what's on their birth certificate. It's being removed. It's already been passed in some states.
That's okay.
Right? And I understand the ideology behind it, but for me, I want to know that if in 5 or 10 years someone asked me to marry, I didn't wait all my life to marry another girl, and it's a guy and it's really a girl. I think I should be able to know that.
That's a whole nother topic. Bub, write that down because there's so many things that I struggle with, and having boys who identify as girls play sports against my daughter. I struggle with that.
Yeah, because it's dangerous because their muscle is different.
They're different.
I'm going to tell you, I don't want to touch those things with a 10. Those things.
Drop
them in the thing. I don't want to touch those things with a 10.
But that's scary to me. For real. I'm
moderator. You can be the moderator doing that show, but I think it's important because that's like saying there's a young boxer who died recently from a head injury, right? And there was a comment that I saw where they said she fought a fight before, and the young person she fought wasn't actually a girl, it was a boy.
So
the head injury she sustained, had it have really been a girl, maybe
she wouldn't have died. I get it.
That kind of thing. But I just think I believe that everybody should have a choice to live any way they like, especially if it doesn't harm someone else. And that brings us, we should transition to the choice of pring pring. Are we talking about that this week?
No.
We are getting ready to sign off. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
And listen, you know what's even worse? We didn't even get to talk about Nicki Minaj. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna start with Nicki Minaj next week.
We'll have some updated information.
And we'll have more updated information. But Nikki, listen, I said Nikki is gonna save the world. Leave it to the Black woman to save the world. Because you know what? The beautiful thing about the Nikki thing is that she said something you can agree with, and she said something that I can agree with, and they're attacking her. You see, because she said, "Look, what you agree with." She said, "Listen, if my job depended on it, I would get vaccinated. And then what I agree with, she said, do your research. It's a personal choice. If do your research before you put something in your body. And they're coming at her like she said something crazy.
Well, they're coming at her
For the balls and testicle story.
The testicle story, the impotence.
Now check this out. If you know me, I was able to find the actual case of someone who died from COVID, and he had enlarged testicles. And I'm gonna just show you real quick.
Not the testicles, though.
I'm gonna show you real quick, just so you know I'm not lying.
No, remove that from my brain.
Just watch. I won't be able to this is it right here. This is the information right here.
Change the title before you do that, because if someone screams, right. They might think it's Ye or Drake's
balls. No, we're not gonna talk about that.
We gotta keep
hold on. Okay.
You gotta play.
I'm gonna take it off 1 second, but let me just show. Okay, here we are. So now
don't show the balls with that title.
I'm gonna take it off. Okay, there we go.
Did you see the video that she made about the balls?
No, I just. Oh, the 14-minute video.
No. Inside the 14-minute video is a music clip video. Did you see the music clip?
See that?
But that's for somebody that had COVID.
That's the original side.
But he went into the hospital reporting that his balls were hurting, that he was having serious pain, and they discharged him. And he came back a day later. The pain wouldn't go away. He ended up dying 4 days later from COVID. This same person.
Well, know this.
Is this the friend of the cousin?
No.
This is somebody else. He found another story.
This is just proving that it can't happen. It's not, we don't know the guy that said it. We don't know.
Wait. This is different, though. This is different because this is literally COVID.
Yes.
And this person is saying he got the shot and he became impotent. Two totally different things. They're not synonymous at all. However, I will say that, man, that what you just showed, what I believe and what I know happened to me, COVID attacks what is weak in your body. You don't know what might have been happening.
He had a weak ball sack.
It could have been a start testicular cancer. You don't know, like that was his body was fighting, and COVID goes in and attacks that. And I had surgery because of that.
Yeah.
And my point is that we just can't be so dismissive of everything, and because it's like, if it sounds crazy, like, oh, conspiracy theory, and I'm like, guys, there's a lot going on in this world right now. Just take the time if you feel like it.
You can't end the live now, because I'm gonna say something that Kimmel said, right? Was it Kimmel? Okay. Kimmel's the one with the dark hair. He made a comment, and again, it's a talk show, and he's been joking about it. And this is no disrespect to the family of the person you just mentioned or the friend of the cousin, right? Yeah. But he said, if you get a COVID vaccination shot today, and on Friday, all of a sudden you have a headache, or a month from now your leg breaks, you can't say your leg broke because of your COVID shot.
Yeah, well, we know that. Regular humans know that.
But so that's what they're saying with her level of influence and power by sharing it. And especially for people who are just going off of your word, it makes it seem. Now, I listened to her for the first time today with the video that you shared with me. And I was proud enough of the statement that she was making in terms of being articulate and it making sense that I actually follow her. I have never followed Nikki Minaj. Just because I don't support the WAP.
All of that craziness
that she says.
Nikki didn't do the WAP. That was Cardi B. Right. I like the WAP.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. I confuse all those big booties.
They do all live together.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Nikki. Yes, but you got some.
No, but yeah, if you get time, Ayana, listen to her. Go to her Instagram page. Yes. It's 14 minutes long, and she just talks to the screen. Like, you won't see her, you just see darkness.
Well, and that's also a smart branding move, not to capture her her physical when she's saying it, but
she's
they're definitely coming after her. But they're also coming
smart,
after her.
she's courageous. She's smart, she's courageous, and she want that smoke. She's like, let's do it. If this is what it's gonna be, let's do it.
But let me say this: if what her making that statement, because, and I know we gotta go, but the one thing I said when we were all prepping for the show is people have to be careful about their power and their influence. And Donatella just said that as well. If what she did transcends the conversation or changes the conversation to something that can
she
help,
didn't say it like that. If you have any bit of education and you listen to her, she didn't say not to get the COVID shot. She said to do your research. And if this is what happened to a friend of my cousin's friend.
And that's my point. If she's able to change the narrative or at least get people to think for themselves, then something positive came out of the sensationalism that was made over the friend of the cousin, da 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 da. So you got to use your power for good. And I think she kind of figured out, you know what, let me kind of do something else, because she could just be saying, well, that's what I was told. That's what I was told. That's not what she's saying based off of what you two were saying.
And
she followed the narrative. She's rolling with it.
She figured it out before she said it. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's what you believe?
And look, let's see also in the next 7 days when we come back. Let's look at because I was watching a news channel like a Good Morning America. They did like a 9-piece story on this. Excellent. I have it here too, but I'm going to show it when we get off. I'm just going to throw it off. But the great thing about it is that in that they brought up the conversation about women that are having problems with their menstrual cycle because of this situation that they wouldn't have brought up before. They were like, guys, there are things happening. What Nikki did is empower more people that are having problems to speak out, to come forward. And now to the point where now the CDC is going to have to take a look.
So you know they invited her to the
White House,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which made perfect sense. And I don't know who the man of color anchor was that came out.
It's Don Lemon. It's Don Lemon she was talking about.
From CNN. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's wrap it up. There's a lot here. There's a lot.
Yeah, because I'll tell you my experience with what it did. The shot didn't change my cycle. COVID did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave this up, guys. Another great show. See you guys soon. Thank you. I'm gonna leave us with this this Nicki Minaj. This
as long as it's not
Kevin Samuels.
No.
And for the record, y'all, he worked with a company. I was a trainer. I was just texting people. He wasn't gay, but he just had tendencies like one. I was just going back and forth. So I know people that know him personally.
He's just metrosexual. That's what.
Yeah, and they were like, but they say he was a lunatic. He was crazy. He was humble when he went to that company. Don't play.
He was a trainer.
No, he wasn't. I was.
That's where I know
enough research.
We'll talk offline. We'll see.
Minaj's accompanying salacious anecdote detailing her cousin's friend's supposed troubling vaccine side effect made plenty of headlines. However, so did the response. Major media and political figures, including MSNBC's Joy Ann Reid, England's chief medical officer Chris Whitty, and even Dr. Fauci himself publicly accused Minaj of spreading disinformation and encouraging vaccine hesitancy. Let's take a listen.
And people like Nikki Minaj, I have to say this. You have a platform, sister, that is 22 million followers. Okay, I have 2 million followers. You have 22 million followers on Twitter. For you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and save their lives, my God, sister, you could do better than that.
There are a number of myths that fly around with varying, some of which are just clearly ridiculous, and some of which are clearly designed just to scare. That happens to be one of them. That is untrue. People, I regret to say, I think know that they are peddling untruths, but they still do it. In my view, they should be ashamed.
How can health authorities even attempt to combat this kind of misinformation coming from somebody who is a huge and beloved international star like Nicki Minaj?
It's very difficult. There is a lot of misinformation, mostly on social media, and the only way we know to counter mis and disinformation is to provide a lot of correct
information and to essentially debunk these kinds of claims, which, may be, innocent on her part. I'm not, blaming her for anything, but she should be thinking twice about propagating information that really has no basis as except a one-off anecdote. And that's not what science is all about.
Nicki Minaj also found herself with another unlikely but very powerful ally.
Who could have guessed that rapper Nicki Minaj would turn out to be one of the bravest people in the United States? A couple of days ago, we would guess, most people who watch the show may not have heard of Nicki Minaj. And then she tweeted about the COVID vaccine. She didn't come out against the vaccines. She merely said that as an adult and an American, she should decide whether or not to take the vaccine. So here's the point that she's making. Probably a lot of things Nicki Minaj says that you may not agree with, you may not like her music. But the 2 points she's making are worth reiterating. You can't allow people to force you to take drugs that you don't want or that you don't need. It's up to you what drugs you take, period. And if you allow people to force you to take drugs you don't want, you're done.
And now Joe Biden is involved. Yesterday, after Minaj tweeted she had been invited to visit the White House to have her questions about the vaccine publicly answered, CNN's Don Lemon tweeted out that the Biden administration had only offered Minaj a phone conversation with a White House doctor and that no invitation to visit had been extended, which I think is a shame because that would be fun if she went to the White House. Minaj swiftly took to Instagram Live where she claimed she had been blocked from posting on Twitter. A Twitter spokesperson has since denied any action was taken to prevent Minaj from posting, which is actually interesting in its own sense. She also called out Lemon and Reed, suggesting their criticism of her had been coordinated because they're black. Let's take a listen to that.
Do y'all think that I would go on the internet and lie about being invited to the White House? Like, what? Do you guys see what is happening right now? Oh my goodness. If y'all don't see, it's not even surprising to me that they had to use one of us. Like I said, the first time they used one of us, she was the first person that was used. Now they just use this man to come on and put this thing out saying that I wasn't I wasn't invited to the White House. Do y'all think I would lie about being like, what the fuck?
I'm a fan of her music. But it's she's they were all saying that she's spreading misinformation. I mean, I don't, this story that she told about the friend's cousin, whatever, is incredibly suspicious. But she was kind of just saying, she's doing more research before she gets the vaccine. I don't know what's misinformation-y about that. Again, I would advocate her and anyone else to get the vaccine. I've said that 1,000 times on this show. But everyone went into full meltdown. By everyone, I mean the mainstream media goes into full meltdown mode about this. What about all the times misinformation was spread by the health officials, by Fauci himself, on Lab Leak and what else? Joy Reid, she initially said, I remember because I wrote about it, she said, well, I'm vaccinated, but I'm still going to wear 2 masks when I'm outside because my level of alarm is that high. If Nicki Minaj's thing counts as misinformation, why doesn't that?
I mean, I agree with Nicki Minaj that you shouldn't be doing anything, making any sort of medical decisions based on coercion. If you want to go somewhere fun, well, then you need to go and do this XYZ medical thing. I don't think that that's right at all. I think she is very accurate to say, look, I am doing the research. This is something I'm going to do for me. I'm not going to do it because I want to go party. So I do think that's very accurate. As far as her anecdotal claim that everybody's really upset about, again, look, I haven't heard of that one personally, but there are other sorts of anecdotes that were deemed to be misinformation, like the heart inflammation at first. I mean, I had a video removed from my YouTube channel for reporting on that, which then ended up being, and now it's an actual FDA, warning. But also, one thing that I will say is, and this has been really bothering me a lot, is that during the clinical trials, they never asked women about their menstruation. And now, finally, after all of these thousands, hundreds of thousands of women, in fact, came forward saying something's up with my cycle. The European equivalent to the FDA finally launched an official study to look into that. And now I hear that there's reports that the NIH is finally looking into that. But those types of, but telling women this whole time, like, oh, none of that's real, that's all misinformation. And then now they're saying, okay, all right, well, maybe there's actually something to it, so we're going to look into this.
And also, we shouldn't be afraid of the whole, the line that, well, it's a private medical decision and you should talk to your doctor. Your doctor's extremely likely to tell you it's safe and you should take the vaccine. So people shouldn't be afraid. People in the pro-vaccine camp, like I am, shouldn't be afraid of that narrative, I think. What do you think, Ryan?
No, yeah, and Tim's right. The menstrual reports they're a good example of, I think, the way that misogyny works its way into the science sometimes. And nobody should have been surprised about that because there's a relationship between the immune system. The immune system gets triggered by a vaccine, and that can influence the cycle. That we know that with the flu vaccine. This is not unusual. Yet you did have these hundreds of reports that became thousands of reports put into the system that were not being addressed by the government, which then creates unnecessary hesitancy and skepticism about the safetyness of the vaccine. Rather than they couldn't be like, you know what, we're looking into this. We see this side effect with the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine is not going to kill you. There's no reason to think that this necessarily is something that's debilitating when it comes to this vaccine, but to just ignore it, then contributes to creating a vacuum that paranoia can creep into, and you start talking about swollen testicles of my cousin's buddy. Tomorrow on Rising, Emily Jashinsky weighs in on reports that Facebook has built a system, quote, exempting high-profile users from some or all of its rules.
Team Rising.